Welcome to Reverb, sound business advice that resonates. I'm your host, Jason Kallio. My guest today, Sheryl Lindsell-Roberts from Sheryl Lindsell-Roberts Associates. Sheryl is an expert in the written word. Hi, Sheryl.
Hi, Jason. Thank you.
And one of the exciting things about Sheryl is that she is an author of over 23 books. So congratulations. I understand you have a new one, too.
Thank you. Yes, I brought a copy for you. It's called Speaking Your Way to Success, just published by Houghton Mifflin Harcourt.
Well, thank you. I'm very excited. I can't wait to read it. I can't wait. Thanks so much. Well, today, what we wanted to talk about was communication skills. You and I, we spend a lot of time talking with people, whether it's with public speaking or even with the written word, of course. And communication is so very important, whether we're just trying to get the word out so that somebody understands our message, perception, or even sales. So as a result, when a lot of people do presentations, I think you have a term that you use, which you call death by PowerPoint.
Yes, it's an industry term, actually.
So what is that?
Death by PowerPoint. I facilitate presentation workshops.
Right.
And when I walk into a room, the first question I ask people is this: how many of you automatically revert to PowerPoint, so go into PowerPoint mode as soon as you know you have to make a presentation? And a few hands will go up, and as people looking around, a few more hands go up, and eventually every hand is up and people are starting to laugh. That's what people typically do. They will do a brain dump from here to the computer. Everything they think of will go on a PowerPoint slide. Then they get up in front of the group and they start reading their PowerPoint slides. And people are bored to death. So the term has come about, death by PowerPoint.
And it's funny that you say they laugh, because the reason they're laughing is they know it's not the best option.
Exactly.
It's an easy option, right? And that's what they do. They say, yes, I can go ahead and I can dump all my stuff down there, and then here comes the problem. So,
but you know, it's the old garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
If you're going to dump, you use the word dump, which is very appropriate.
True.
They do a brain dump, and then they wind up with something that's incoherent very often, something that is not compelling, something that does not deliver the intended message.
Good point. Yeah, good point. That's what we end up doing. So how do we avoid this death by PowerPoint then? How do we avoid it?
You have to, before you even turn on your computer, you absolutely have to analyze your audience, your purpose, and your key issue. And you do that through a series of questions, and I brought a few of them with me. The first question you have to ask is, who is my primary audience? Does your audience consist of peers, subordinates, superiors? Are they customers, clients? Are they internal to your organization? Are they external? Are they a combination? And what percentage would there be of each if there's a combination?
And that would be very important, because if your audience, knowing who your audience is, there are probably things that you would be wasting your time talking about because it wouldn't be important to them.
Absolutely.
So you'd want to stay focused on what matters. You
have to see your target so you know where to aim.
Okay, that
Absolutely.
makes sense.
Okay, second thing, what does my audience need to know about the topic? Very often, we give people far too much information. We tell them what we want them to know, rather than what it is they need to know. Very important, need to know. Those three words are very key.
And does that help then for us to eliminate more of that dumping?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yes,
because
it
we're
does.
Focused.
Yes,
we're focused.
You're starting to focus. That's what this is all about.
Right.
What's in it for my audience? Why does your audience care? Why are they there? I mean, they may have had their arms twisted to be there, but why are they there? What do they think they're going to get out of this? Will they make more money? Will they save time? What is their bottom line value?
Yeah, because what's in it for me is very important, especially kind of in our world that we live today. Everybody looks for instant gratification, and we're so used to being bombarded by so many things, whether it's email,
exactly,
and media in general. So if I know what's in it for me, then it's easier for me to say, do I want to be there? Am I going to check out?
Exactly.
As soon as you start talking, unless I know why I want to be here.
Right.
That's a very good point.
But that's something the presenter doesn't often take time to think about. Remember, your presentations are all about your audience. They're not about you. Very important. Point to keep in mind.
Good point.
Yeah. The next thing is, does your talk need a special angle or point of view? Now think about it for a moment. If you're delivering to a group of C-level people from the C-suite, you know, the CEOs, CIOs,
Sure.
do they need all the technical details?
No.
No.
And they probably don't care.
They need the bottom line. They need bottom line information so they could make top level decisions. IT people, for example, we need all the details. Salespeople need the benefits. So think about, you know, when you think about your audience, you have to really think about what level do you need to present at. Okay. And then another thing to absolutely consider, what's my reader's attitude towards the topic? Are you delivering good news, something people are going to be happy to hear? Are you delivering neutral news, something they need to know, but they don't really have a reaction one way or another? Or are you delivering something negative? Are you telling people that jobs are going to be cut, that the workload is going to increase? You need to know how they're going to perceive this information so you can prepare it strategically.
Now, by that, too, I would think that the tone would be very important.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can't even imagine if you were going to be delivering, hey, you know, we're going to be having layoffs, and you're standing up there juggling.
Exactly, exactly. So you really have to understand the whole picture of your audience.
Now, let me ask you about this, too, because we've had some other discussions on the show before, that do you feel like your presentation should be considered a performance? That if you're delivering, you personally, you the person delivering, do you think you should think of it as a performance?
It is a performance. I definitely do. I mean, not a performance in the way of entertaining, but in the way of keeping people engaged.
And energy.
You have to present a high level of energy.
Right.
You have to keep people engaged. You have to include them. You just don't stand up and read. You have to have participatory activities.
Right, right.
So that people are just not sitting there and listening to you.
Sure. So, key points.
Yeah.
Are there any more that we need to be thinking about?
One thing to absolutely consider, two more things actually. My purpose is to blank, so my audience will do what? 90% of the time when you're presenting, you are trying to persuade or influence your audience to think or do something. What is it you want them to do, think, or feel at the end of your presentation? You need to be able to fine-tune that in your own mind so you can either, you know, outwardly or inwardly get that message across.
Right.
Because very often people leave and they say, okay, what do I do now? You have to be very clear with that.
I think you used a key word there too, and you said feel. Because when it comes to sales, and when I say sales, we're all selling something at some point. It doesn't mean that we're selling maybe the company's product, but you and I, if we work in the same company, I might be trying to sell you on an idea or sell you on doing something for me. So we're all selling.
Exactly.
And when it comes down to it, don't we make decisions emotionally.
All decisions are made emotionally. When you go to buy a car, that's an emotional decision.
So when you say feel, that is key.
Feel is a key word there, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, cool point.
And final thing, what is the one key point I want my reader to remember? Have you ever heard the expression earworm?
No.
You hear a song on the radio, for example, and it plays over and over and over, and you can't get it out of your mind.
Yes.
What do you want your audience's earworm to be? When they start to revisit your presentation, what is the one key point you want to leave them with? And you must be able to condense that into a single sentence before you can start preparing your presentation.
I had read something that said, if you can't communicate your message to a 9-year-old and they understand it, then you need to try again.
It's true.
Now, I could imagine, though, if we're talking about rocket science, that's a little different. But in general, getting it down to true nuts and bolts would be very, very crucial.
Absolutely.
In moving forward.
Absolutely.